Today, we delve into the most pressing global news stories impacting our world. From escalating geopolitical tensions to significant economic shifts, these events shape our future. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. Political unrest has erupted in several South American countries, with widespread protests against government policies gaining significant momentum. Citizens are expressing their frustrations over escalating economic hardships, including soaring inflation and unemployment, coupled with rampant political corruption. This unrest has led to violent clashes between protesters and law enforcement, resulting in numerous injuries and arrests. Governments are responding with increased security measures, including curfews and military presence, attempting to quell the unrest. The political landscape is becoming increasingly volatile, with calls for comprehensive reforms growing louder among the populace. International observers recognize that the stability of the region is crucial for global economic interests, particularly in resource-rich nations. As protests continue, the potential for significant leadership changes looms, with many demanding accountability and transparency from their governments in the weeks ahead. Massive wildfires are currently raging across the western United States, fueled by dry conditions and high winds. Firefighters are battling multiple blazes that have already consumed thousands of acres, threatening not only homes but also critical infrastructure. Evacuations have been ordered in several communities, with residents urged to flee to safety as flames advance. These wildfires are exacerbated by long-term drought conditions and increased temperatures, both linked to climate change. The environmental impact is devastating, with smoke plumes affecting air quality across vast areas, raising health concerns for vulnerable populations. Authorities are coordinating extensive firefighting efforts, but rugged terrain complicates their response. As firefighters persist in battling the flames, the focus will inevitably shift to recovery and rebuilding, highlighting the urgent need for enhanced wildfire management strategies to protect communities in the future. Resilience will be key in facing this growing threat. Trade tensions between the United States and China have escalated dramatically following new tariff announcements from the Biden administration. These tariffs, aimed at addressing alleged unfair trade practices, are a continuation of a long-standing conflict that began during the previous administration. China's government has vowed to retaliate, signaling its intention to impose tariffs on a range of American goods, including agricultural products and technology. This development has reignited fears of a renewed trade war, which could destabilize global markets. Businesses on both sides are preparing for disruptions in supply chains, potentially leading to job losses and economic downturns. Economists warn that prolonged tensions may slow economic growth, increase prices for consumers, and undermine international trade relationships. As diplomatic efforts intensify to de-escalate the situation, both nations face mounting pressure to negotiate a resolution that could restore stability and foster cooperation in the future. A new variant of COVID-19 has emerged in Europe, prompting health authorities to reassess their response strategies. This variant, named B.1.1.529, has shown signs of increased transmissibility, raising concerns among scientists and epidemiologists. Previous strains have already put immense pressure on healthcare systems, which are now facing the potential for a new wave of infections. Vaccination rates have plateaued in some regions, making the situation more precarious. Governments are urging citizens to remain vigilant, emphasizing the importance of booster shots and adherence to safety protocols. The emergence of this variant could lead to renewed restrictions, including mask mandates and limitations on gatherings, as officials strive to curb its spread. The global health community is closely monitoring this situation, as its impact could extend beyond Europe. As the data continues to unfold, health experts stress the urgency of vaccination campaigns, particularly in vulnerable populations, to mitigate the potential surge in cases and protect public health in the coming months. Major technology companies are under intense scrutiny as governments ramp up antitrust investigations aimed at addressing monopolistic practices. This increased focus stems from long-standing concerns that such practices may harm competition and reduce consumer choice. Recent congressional hearings have underscored issues surrounding data privacy and the overwhelming market dominance held by a few key players. Lawmakers are actively considering stricter regulations to rein in the power of these tech giants, reflecting a growing public distrust regarding how these companies manage user data and influence various markets. The economic implications of these investigations could be profound, potentially leading to hefty fines and operational constraints for these firms. As investigations unfold, the tech landscape may experience significant shifts, affecting not only the companies involved, but also consumers and smaller competitors. Stakeholders are now closely analyzing how these regulatory changes will reshape innovation and market dynamics, with many predicting a more competitive environment that could foster new technological advancements in the near future. Inflation rates have surged to record highs across multiple countries, raising significant concerns about economic stability and the cost of living. The current spike in inflation is largely attributed to persistent supply chain disruptions, which have been exacerbated by the ongoing effects of the pandemic. Increased consumer demand, fueled by economic reopening and government stimulus measures, has further strained resources. As a result, essentials such as food and fuel have become increasingly expensive, forcing households to adjust their budgets. Governments are implementing various measures, including subsidies and price controls, to alleviate the financial burden on citizens, yet the effectiveness of these strategies remains under scrutiny. Financial markets are reacting nervously, with investors flocking to safer assets amid growing uncertainty. Economists warn that if inflation continues unchecked, it could lead to a significant recession, impacting job growth and overall economic health. As policymakers grapple with these challenges, the coming months will be crucial for determining whether they can successfully balance economic recovery efforts with the urgent need to control inflation. A powerful earthquake has struck Central America, wreaking havoc across the region. The epicenter was located near a densely populated city, resulting in significant casualties and extensive damage to homes and infrastructure. Rescue operations are currently underway, but responders are facing formidable challenges due to ongoing aftershocks and the destruction of critical transport routes. The local government has declared a state of emergency, mobilizing resources and emergency services to assist those affected by this disaster. International aid is being coordinated as the situation rapidly develops. This earthquake serves as a stark reminder of Central America's vulnerability to seismic activity, given its position on the Pacific Ring of Fire. The economic impact is expected to be severe, with businesses heavily damaged and thousands of residents displaced from their homes. As recovery efforts gain momentum, the focus will be on providing immediate relief, including food and medical assistance, while also assessing the long-term rebuilding needs of the affected communities. Experts emphasize the importance of a comprehensive recovery strategy to ensure resilience against future disasters. World leaders have gathered to sign a historic climate pact aimed at combating global warming, marking a pivotal moment in international environmental policy. This agreement outlines ambitious targets for reducing carbon emissions by 2030, a response to mounting evidence of climate change's devastating effects. Countries across the globe have pledged to switch to renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind, while investing in sustainable practices like reforestation and energy efficiency. The urgency of this pact stems from alarming scientific reports indicating that climate change is advancing faster than previously predicted, threatening ecosystems and human livelihoods. Economically, nations will face significant challenges as they transition their industries to meet these new standards, potentially reshaping job markets and energy sectors. Environmentalists are cautiously optimistic, viewing this as a crucial step forward, yet critics argue that the pact lacks enforceable measures to ensure compliance. As implementation begins, the focus will shift to monitoring progress and ensuring accountability among signatories. Looking ahead, the effectiveness of this agreement will hinge on collaborative efforts and innovative solutions that can drive meaningful change in reducing global carbon footprints. Severe flooding has devastated parts of Southeast Asia following intense monsoon rains. Countries like Thailand and Vietnam are experiencing unprecedented water levels, leading to widespread displacement of thousands of residents. This situation is not new. Seasonal monsoon rains typically bring challenges, but this year's downpour has exceeded historical records, causing rivers to overflow and inundate communities. Emergency services have been mobilized, but challenges remain due to damaged infrastructure, including roads and bridges, which hinder access to affected areas. The natural disaster has resulted in significant agricultural losses, threatening food security in a region already vulnerable to climate change. Many families rely on farming as their primary source of income, and the destruction of crops will likely lead to increased prices and shortages. The government's response includes emergency relief efforts, but aid is slow to reach remote areas where the need is greatest. International aid organizations are calling for donations to assist those affected, emphasizing the urgent need for food, clean water, and medical supplies. As the situation evolves, meteorologists warn that further rain is expected in the coming days, raising concerns about additional flooding. The resilience of these communities will be tested as they work to rebuild their lives and livelihoods in the face of ongoing challenges. Recent developments in Eastern Europe have raised alarms across the globe. Tensions between Ukraine and Russia have surged following a series of military exercises near the border. This situation escalated after a Ukrainian military official reported a significant increase in Russian troop deployment. The historical context of this conflict highlights a long-standing dispute over territorial integrity and national sovereignty, particularly following Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Analysts suggest that the renewed aggression could lead to further sanctions against Russia from Western nations, potentially crippling its economy further. Economic implications are already being felt, with energy prices fluctuating due to fears of disruption in natural gas supplies, which are vital for Europe's energy security. The humanitarian impact is equally concerning, as thousands of civilians have begun to evacuate conflict-prone areas facing uncertain futures. With diplomatic talks at a standstill, the international community is increasingly alarmed. What happens next could fundamentally reshape the geopolitical landscape in Europe, with the potential for a broader conflict drawing in NATO and other regional players. Leaders are now calling for immediate dialogue to de-escalate the situation and prevent a full-blown conflict. As the situation evolves, the need for effective mediation becomes crucial to ensure stability and peace in the region. Thank you for watching our countdown of today's top news stories. Which story shocked you the most? Be sure to like and subscribe for more updates.